Welcome to Uncommon Knowledge. I'm Peter Robinson.
Sad day indeed. The Queen has passed. But let's move on to the big news today. Steve Bannon has been taken into custody.
Certainly of the 20th century, was an absolute villain.
Marx and Darwin?
Certainly with Marx and Darwin.
Marx is kind of a windbag. Let's agree on that.
What national interests was each man pursuing?
Ahmed Safar is a former rebel leader. Surprisingly, he too is of the opinion that this threat against Benghazi was overstated.
There is truth in the advancement in Benghazi. Certainly, created genocide.
There's an important
You're
point
fucking
here
with an
that
American,
quite a lot of people
motherfuckers!
Claimed that he had threatened.
There's a reason! There's a fucking reason! Because a man never broke my fucking heart! A man never lied to me in love! A man never made me want to drive my car into a fucking wall! Against Benghazi was overstated.
Go on record.
There is truth in the advancement in Benghazi.
See how they feel.
Certainly, not as exaggerated in terms of...
Shut up!
The US is about 25% of the global economy, yet they have 100% equivalent of global GDP in debt.
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
So this is the most indebted economy
This is crazy!
in the history of world economics.
At the heart of the social vision prevalent among contemporary intellectuals is the belief that there are problems and solutions.
There are no solutions. There are trade-offs.
Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure.
I have a gift from God.
Identity,
God.
Self-esteem,
God.
Service to the world,
God.
Creativity,
God.
Critical thinking,
God.
Peace,
God.
Justice,
God.
Openness,
God.
Love,
God.
and freedom.
God.
You know, you have to reevaluate what your priorities are.
Shut up!
Another round of Chinese war games near Taiwan has the U.S. and other nations concerned.
Who's signing up for Facebook at this point? You ever see the video of Hitler at the 36 Olympics tweaking on meth?
No!
It's amazing. Pull it up.
We're changing people's lives!
A concept called gender identity has bullied its way on stage.
The pipe is the best way to go.
I would think your masculinity would be quite easy to find from knowing you as I do.
We weren't going to talk about my private life now.
I won't be responsible for the kind of laughter I'm getting from the audience, but what is that about?
Oh, I don't know. I think that all kids go through it. And I was a child when I enlisted, you know.
New laws and policies based on gender identity are undoing decades of progress by changing our language, undermining our rights, stealing our opportunities.
I was published in academia just because I tossed on a muumuu and some lipstick. I got an interview with Wendy Davis while she was gearing up for a presidential run just because I tossed on a wig and some rouge.
The fact of the matter is that anti-communism is not a bad thing. A great many liberals who are attempting to create peace may be just forging a Munich which brings us neither peace nor honor.
William F. Buckley has a knack of making you his ally.
All you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do, or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful.
What side was that, Private Pile? Sir, left side, sir! Are you sure, Private Pile?
These fucking people are interacting with people in a text form 60% of the time?
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
And if all you're doing is texting, you're not experiencing life, you're trapped in your house.
You're trapped in disconnect.
You're sitting on the couch getting a fucking neck cramp because you're fucking texting.
Yeah.
That's the people of today.
Progress in general seems to hold little interest for people who call themselves progressives. What arouses them are denunciations of social failures and accusations of wrongdoing. One wonders what they would do in heaven.
His novels alone would have raised him there. In particular, War and Peace and Anna Karenina. But he was also a prodigious...
Gonna be getting up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread get the taste out your mouth, that's for damn sure. Now fuck him, fuck that, cause I'm from New York City, goddammit.
This is crazy. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. Anthony Weiner is going to be investigated for child porn. And for which I apologize to him.
Just adore a penthouse view.
to bring you this information. The list goes on and on.
Kid in our nudist commune for years.
Sunnyside Out is actually one of the nation's last surviving majority nudist districts.
When we moved here in the late 80s, it felt like a little slice of heaven, and we knew we had to vote if we wanted to keep it that way.
It's time to put these differences aside and put our penises and vaginas away.
Lost in a landslide.
History has shown when the causes that people are behind are more important to them than the system is in jeopardy. So we have a situation that's very much like that. In terms of, let's say, the 2024 election, there's a very high chance that neither side will accept losing.
And they are far from alone. Reuters lists Argentina, Chile, Cyprus, Greece, Guinea, Indonesia, Iran, Kenya, Lebanon, the Palestinian territories, Peru, Sri Lanka, Sudan, and Tunisia, all as nations where significant protests and unrest have erupted over spiking food and fuel prices just in recent months.
I call a minimal facts argument. It's a species of reliability, but where most reliability arguments are top-down arguments, if the book is generally true, whatever's reported under it is accurate.
And these central bankers are unelected, and they control everything. The greatest transfer of wealth we've ever seen in world history.
I don't hear any more of these lies. There's hardly anything that hasn't been used for money. Rock salt in Ethiopia, brass rings in West Africa, cowrie shells in Uganda, even a toy cannon. Anything can be used as money. Crocodile money in Malaysia. Absurd, isn't it?
You gonna eat your cornbread.
Now, you know how money is. There's a tendency for it to grow, for more and more of it to be produced. And that's what happened with this tobacco. As more tobacco was produced, there was more money. And as always, when there's more money, prices went up. Inflation.
Pipe is the best way to go.
Now, you might be thinking, what exactly is gender identity?
Economy in the history of world economics. So
describes how individuals perceive themselves and what they call themselves. Psychologists define gender identity as a perception.
First, a word about lies. It's a well-known platitude, especially in economics departments, that there are three kinds of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. I think most commencement addresses were inspired by the inventor of advertising, which is the world's oldest profession, the one that was invented in the Garden of Eden by a shapeshifter with many names, some of which are Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, Ashtaroth, Baal, and Satan.
The fact of the matter is that anti-communism is not a bad thing.
And we're going to be voting on that in the Senate. We're changing people's lives.
A place that China doesn't think is a real country, but rather a part of China itself. A rebellious island province in an unfinished civil war.
You fuck around with me, there's going to be consequences and repercussions.
He said this to me. He goes, you know, what's fucked up about the cops is they work for us. I was like, what? No, they don't.
I need to talk about why talk radio works for the right and why it doesn't work for the left. The subtext of every single story is media bias. They're consuming the media and then they're analyzing and they're showing this is what they're saying, but this is what's really happening out there.
Chief Florida, welcome to the EIB network. Great to have you here.
Yes, hello. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, I'm quite upset over the way you speak about everybody. It's the tone that you use that really that's all fine and good.
Thank you.
But when the other side doesn't maybe see it the way you see, we're all evil and we're calling people stupid. I never called the Tea Party stupid. I didn't agree with them. I understand what they were doing.
Pat.
Yes.
I never said you called the Tea Party stupid.
No.
I've never heard of you until just.
If you took away media bias from the equation, Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity's ratings would fall.
Unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted.
When the media is so on your side, to try to pretend that the media bias goes the other way, you're going to fall on your face after 2 hours of doing talk radio. You can't do 3 hours of talk radio every single day saying that channel 360 out of 1,000 on your DirecTV dial is the bane of humanity.
Why do they call it Labor Day when everybody takes off? They should call it Taxpayer Day.
3 hours of talk radio every single day.
Continued porn use increases your sense of isolation, aggression, and loneliness, in addition to modifying the reward center of your brain, requiring more and more usage and more graphic and violent imagery, just as with the use of addictive drugs and alcohol.
And I got money,
okay? But I got money, and that gives me the power to shake up this system, Dougie.
Well, find somebody else to help you then. Because this is not what I signed on for. I don't even know what we're engaged in anymore, Larry. If you get on that plane, I quit.
Alan, don't be so melodramatic. You don't want to quit me. I'm your dream client. I'm the most fun, I'm rich, and I'm always in trouble.
Hey, go to hell, Larry. Go to hell. The bank really doesn't care about colors when it comes to people. The only color that they really care about is green. And so what they want to see is how much money can we make. They are not in the social justice business. They are in the profit business. Banks want to optimize how much revenue and profit that they can bring in. And so if they can lend you more money, they will be more than willing to do that.
As everybody here on this panel agreed months ago that one of the reasons inflation was high was all the government spending. And after we agreed on that, what did the government do? They spent more.
Spending more money to reduce inflation. It makes absolutely no sense. And they went along with it. And
well,
people
that's the Keynesian model.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, to change, we've decided because blah, blah, some bullshit, some letter, close your accounts. So they take all your banking, they take your payment processing, they take all your social media presence, they take your Discord, they take your Skype, they take all your accounts, your ability to communicate with people, and then they lie about you in the press.
When the commander-in-chief told me to think about them as dangerous extremists, I realized I had been thinking about them incorrectly. Now I have a more sensible point of view of just thinking about them as the enemy of the state.
Some people might argue that social engineering in fictional TV shows is an important necessity.
Because they are covering underfunded, poorly managed public schools in America.
Did you ever have to go out to the podium and somehow try to make square pegs fit into round holes like Psaki apparently has?
Yes.
The average Democrat, the average leftist thinks they're part of the winning team when they violate your rights, when they default you in a judgment, when they censor you, when they debank you, when they attack you. What they don't get is they're building their own prison. And they think they're going to be the jailer, but history shows that they're not going to be the jailer. They're going to be the one in that cage along with the rest of us.
I can only tell you that it has been an honor and a privilege to come into your homes all these years and entertain you. I bid you a very heartfelt good night.